welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Number 3 episode of Washington Wine, and during Washington Wine Month, the original Washington Wine Month, March. So, I think we started with, we just did GSM blends, and then we did a white blends and GSM blends so far from Washington State. Now we're going on to Cabernet Sauvignon, the number 1 selling red wine in the U.S., only to be eclipsed by Chardonnay. Chardonnay is the number 1 selling wine in the U.S., believe it or not. Cabernet Sauvignon, a lot of people are really comfortable with this wine. It's, it's a good go-to wine, I think, whenever you're having some sort of a meat dish. And so I think it's important. These are all under $20, which is kind of exciting. How many of you like to find a good red wine under $20? That would be me. I love it. So we're going to examine these wines, look at them, compare them. We have 4 cabs to do, so let's get started right away. By the way, Cabernet Sauvignon, before we get started tasting them, is a cross between, I should just ask you guys to answer that, but I'm going to help you out. Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. So one of the parents of Cab Sauv is a white wine. So it's a cross between those 2 wines. That's how you get the name, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet, Sauvignon Blanc, Sauvignon. So Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's get started right away. 2019 Desert Wind Cabernet Sauvignon, estate grown, Walluk Slope. This rolls in at $16. $16, good price point. And it is kind of tough to find great cabs, or good cabs anyway, above average cabs in that price point. So I'm excited to try these. I'm not familiar with a few of these. I mean, I'm familiar with all of these wineries, just haven't tried them in a long time. Color is kind of a dark purple color. Yeah, you can see through it a little bit, but not too much. Let's see what we get on those. Licorice, currants. Now a lot of these aromatics are going to be the same. I know that. So I'm going to licorice, currants, a little black cherry. There's an interesting kind of a baking spice component I can smell, which is interesting because they're not using new oak on this stuff. I'm just telling you. Well, they might be using some oak staves. When you start getting into below the $20 point, they don't use new oak, obviously. Otherwise, they'd have to pass on the cost to us. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. Very tight. Probably use some decanting. The tannins are very dry. I get some currant notes coming through, but very dry tannins. These are kind of oak tannins, so I'm curious if they're using oak staves or oak spindles, because they'll use a neutral barrel and they drop what they call oak staves or oak spindles into the wine to absorb that kind of oak characteristic. The currant notes come through barely on the mid palate, very dry on the finish. This is a very dry Cabernet Sauvignon. This is for somebody that wants a real old school style cab, maybe old world. I mean, for $16, it's okay. We're very, very tight. Very, very old world. The currant notes come out of the back end. Not a flawed wine at all. A very dry Cabernet Sauvignon. And I know there's a lot of you guys out there that like that, but I'm going to go C+. Just above average. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to get excited about. But remember, it's $16. So I'm okay with that. I think it's a C+ wine. Just above average. Let's move on. 2022 Kind Stranger Cabernet Sauvignon. This rolls in at $16 as well. It'll be interesting to compare these two. This is Washington State, is what he puts down as the appellation. When they put Washington State, they're not sourcing it directly from a specific appellation in Washington State. Could be sourcing its fruits from Chelan. Could be sourcing it from Puget Sound. Probably not Puget Sound because they don't do cab up there. Color. This is more in the reddish black category. Purple, reddish black. Let's see what we get on the nose. Yeah, well, this is a 22. Come on, guys. Very, very clear. Clean looking. So we get on the nose. First thing hit was nettles, currants, dark cherries. But that nettle component is very interesting. Even a little bit of a plum component coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. That herbaceous don't come through on the palate, but this has really a lot more fruit on it, but it's still dry. Get more stuff going on with this one. Currant notes. The plum notes come through as well. Even a kind of a candied currant element coming through. Not in the sweetness, but it's definitely sweet tannins. The licorice component kind of lies underneath, so you get a kiss of licorice here and there. Nice expansion on the mid palate of the fruit. Then it goes into a dry finish. This has a lot more going on than the Desert Wind for $16. I think it shows a lot better. Boy, the licorice and currant notes is really, really hang on the backside. And that kind of little herbaceous kind of nettle thing comes through right at the back end. But not in an off-putting way. It's just something I sense, I can taste it, and I want to share that with you guys so you're not surprised. I do a lot of tasting notes at the store so people know what they're getting into, and I do that same here. I want you guys to know what you're getting into. This is a beauty. I'm going to go B+. $16 is great QPR, quality to price ratio wine. Now we're jumping up just a few bucks. This is a 2020 Airfield Cabernet Sauvignon, Yakima Valley, one of my favorite appellations in Washington State. In fact, the oldest appellation in Washington State. This was in at $18. My actually two favorite appellations in Washington State are Yakima Valley and Red Mountain. Just saying. But while Luke Slope's cranking out some great wines as well. A lot of them. Walla Walla, people love Walla Walla. I think Walla Walla is very good. Sometimes I think overpriced compared to some of the other things you can get. Although Red Mountain is the most expensive fruit in Washington State. So those price points can be high. Kind of a blackish purple red color. See what we got on the nose. $18, Airfield Estates. Again, licorice, currants, black cherries. Let's see what we get on the palate. Don't watch us trying to get away there. I didn't realize how busy this road was until I started shooting episodes here in this loft area, which I like. I like it up here. But man, a lot of traffic out there. South Beach is that way. Very popular place to go visit on San Juan Island. Yeah, again, like I said, very dark. Let's see what we get on those. Yeah, currants. I'm almost getting a chocolate note on this one. It's sneaking in. A little bit of chocolate is sneaking in. Get a tobacco note on this one as well. You know how excited I get about tobacco. Who knows why? So there you go. Let's see what we get on the palate. $18. Nice dry. This is a dry cab. All of these would do well with some grilled meats, just saying. Currant nose comes through on this one up front, and you get that chocolate tone comes through on the back side of this one. Kind of a milk chocolate thing going on. This has a little bit of a herbaceousness to it too, a little vegginess, but very, very subtle. Very subtle. Dry on the finish. This is a solid cab though. I like this cab a lot. So when you're, when you're buying a cab, you don't, at least most people, I think, don't expect a fruit bomb. You're looking for structure. You're looking for dry. You're looking for a good food wine. Is that what you're looking for when you buy a cab? Let me know. I want to know. It helps me at the store when I'm trying to sell wine to people. A touch thin on the finish, but overall well-made cab. I'm gonna go B minus B on this one. $18. Let's move on. I think this is a fairly new winery. This is the 2019 Cataclysm Cabernet Sauvignon, Washington State. This is Columbia Valley. This rolls in at $18. I get a lot of people that are looking for Cabernet Sauvignons under 20 bucks, and it's nice to try these. So it gives me a little bit more of a database to go by. I'm getting a little kind of there's a little brown thing going on here. This is, you can see this through a little bit, but it gets into the black category. It does have a little bit of definitely a kind of a brown hue to it. It's only a 19, so it's not, it's just showing that. Let's see what we got on the nose. Ooh, I get a little eucalyptus thing going on this one. It's really kind of cool. So currants, a little bit of eucalyptus or mint. Definitely a slight licorice. Even getting a little bit of a tea component. Now, what's interesting is this one is kind of burning my nose hairs. See, it's 13.9 alcohol. Very interesting. None of the other ones did that. This one is doing that. Not a bad thing. I just noticed it. Let's see what you get on the palate. Very interesting Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's currants meets, I get just a slight minty, like eucalyptus thing going on. We don't have eucalyptus trees in Washington State, but I'm getting a little bit of that. There's a little bit of a tea component coming through, like Earl Grey meets black tea, more in the black tea area. Very interesting flavor profile on this in a good way. A lot of things going on with this cab. I'm even getting a bit of chocolate on the back side of this. It dries out on the finish. Long finish, by the way. And that kind of tea thing just kind of hangs on the back side. Very interesting Cabernet. I'm going to go B plus as well. So we have 2 B plus, B minus, and a C plus wine. So not a bad episode. Cataclysm, I think, piqued my interest the most. Kind Stranger and Cataclysm. So let's showcase those right now. Right here, $16 and $18. Good price point for a solid Cabernet Sauvignon from Washington State. There you have it. Super stoked. Next week I'm going to the Taste Washington event down in Seattle. Looking forward to that. I think they have like 700 wineries or more down there. Some nice food booths. So I'm going to hang out there. Need to hang out there because, hey, I'm a wine guy and it's Washington Wine Month. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. By the way, shoot me a comment. What is your favorite cab from Washington State under $20? I want to know because I need that information so I can help other people and so I can try it. So how many wines have you found, cabs under $20 have you found that you really enjoy? I want to know. You keep watching. Oh, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you can see what's coming up. We got quite a few more episodes on Washington wines. I'm looking forward to it. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.